Well, looks like our next guest is on, Henry Makow, who is a gentleman who is a writer. He's an author. He is a political scientist. He is a Ph.D., and he has written 5 books that are quite incredible. And he's going to be talking about the Illuminati and the New World Order.
Well, Dan, I'm really grateful to meet you because you're definitely a kindred spirit. You're someone who's able to recognize what's really happening and willing to do something about it. So, the occasion is the publication of my 4th collection in the Illuminati series. It's called Illuminati 4, War and Genocide and War. And it's basically the best articles from the last 10 years of my website, henrymakow.com, M-A-K-O-W. And it's appropriate that your radio show is called Connecting the Dots, because in my 4 books, I've basically connected the dots and shown that there is that humanity is being sabotaged by an organized satanic conspiracy that essentially aims to enslave us, depopulate us, and kill us. And it's kind of funny to me that people aren't aware of this after the COVID hoax, and where they came right out and said it, you'll own nothing, but you'll be happy. Well, of course we won't be happy. And the guy's dressed in this space Star Wars outfit. I mean, can't people, it's like they hide in plain sight. They tell us what they're doing, and then people can't see it. People can't acknowledge it, let alone do anything about it. So the subtitle of this 4th book is None Are So Blind as Those Who Will Not See. And what we need to see is, unfortunately, that within Judaism, there's a satanic cult called Chabad, which essentially believes that the planet Earth was created. God created the Earth for so-called Jews, and everyone else is basically a squatter on their planet. And chosen people, which a lot of Christians buy into, really means that anyone who doesn't accept satanic domination, satanic dominion, is going to die, because the criteria isn't racial Judaism. So you can't call me an anti-Semite. The criteria is Satanism, the willingness to embrace Lucifer, and essentially turn the natural and divine order on its head. This is pure evil. It's really a struggle between life and death. We're in a life and death struggle, and yet everyone wants to pretend that it's business as usual. And I'm not prepared to see the human race go down the toilet without doing something and saying something.
Well, also, Henry, the comment, and I'll make this comment. Every time that we say something like you're saying right now called anti-Semite, that's not true. It isn't a matter of being against the Jewish people. It is a matter of recognizing that within the Jewish community there's a certain segment that is very definitely on the path of evil, and that's known as Zionism. It's known as the movement to create a Israeli state in the Middle East that is strictly Zionist.
Dan, Trump and Netanyahu, they don't make a secret of this. They belong to Chabad. And I've been banging the table for a year now, trying to tell people, hey, these guys belong to Chabad. Chabad believes in the extermination of Christians. and Chabad is being honored, and the Rabbi Schneerson is being honored by the federal government and the Noahide laws. I mean, it's right in our face. Our leaders belong to a satanic cult, and Netanyahu is on record, and they don't hide this either, as promising Rebbe Schneerson that he will initiate a nuclear catastrophe, because the whole Chabad organized Jewry thing is to destroy the old order so they can create the new order. The old order was devoted to God. The new order is devoted to Satan. And my book has all the quotations. They're telling us to our face that this is who they are and this is what they're doing. And yet people are just comatose. Mm-hmm. Like, I've got it on my website practically every day, no response.
Mm-hmm. Well, Henry, just so people understand this, your family, you're Jewish, right?
Yes, I'm an ethnic Jew, and my parents escaped the extermination of European Jews by pretending to be Christians. My mother is a blue-eyed blonde, so she managed to pretend she was Christian, and my dad pretended he was Christian, got away with it by swearing like a Polak. They're both Polish Jews. Mm-hmm. My dad said because he could really swear, they accepted him.
And when did they move to Canada?
In 1951, when I was less than 2 years old.
Okay.
I want to make the central point. So Christians have to understand that the whole Jewish shtick is that they are God. Nobody else. Everyone else is a squatter on the planet Earth.
Right. The chosen people. The chosen
people. And chosen people means no one else has any rights except everyone else is there to serve them. Now, this is insanity and it won't work, but they feel that by degrading and undermining Christian civilization, we'll be forced into the position of obeying them. We'll be forced into the position of accepting Luciferian tyranny. Now, I want to point to some of the evidence. My 4 books are full of evidence that all the major wars are basically orchestrated by Freemasons working for the central bankers, Freemasons on both sides. Mm-hmm. And take the Second World War, for example. I've posted articles that prove that Hitler and Bormann were essentially working for the central bankers. They're essentially traitors. And Admiral Canaris and General Gerlin, who was in charge of the Russian espionage on the Russian front, Abwehr, they both found evidence that Bormann was leaking all of the German Nazi high command's information in advance to the Russians. And I also have totally conclusive evidence in my book, Illuminati 4, that the British rescued Bormann after the war. Conclusive evidence. Now, why would they rescue Bormann? Bormann he signed Hitler's paychecks. He was more than anyone else responsible for the murder of many Jews. And he was responsible for refusing to make a deal with the anti-communists because essentially the Nazis and the communists were working together. Mm-hmm. That's the key. And that's what's happening now with World War III. The Iranians are Freemasons. Trump is a Freemason. Netanyahu is a Freemason. Pike, the Grand Master, said that we will get Freemasons both on the Zionist side and on the Islam side to start World War III. It's all out there, but no one will look at it.
Let's go ahead and talk about the books, why you wrote these books, and how people, you did it to try to expose what is really going on as an ethnic Jew who understands that, you're probably creating a lot of problems for yourself in saying what you're saying, but you're saying it because you want to save the Jewish people from the same kind of mess that these people are trying to steer them into.
Judaism is essentially, and I'm talking about Cabalist Judaism, essentially about everybody serving them. It's about exploitation and death, and Jews have better. This is Cabalist Judaism. Jews have got to face it that their religion is not a religion. It's a satanic cult masquerading as a religion, and essentially their problem is, why they're destroying the human experience is because we won't worship them as God, and their whole program is about eradicating our soul connection to God and eradicating any conception that there even is a God and a divine plan. So Jews have better just read these books and find out what's really happening, because they're basically being set up to take the blame for a small cult of Satanists who, through their money power, have taken control of Judaism and of the world.
Well, and you say that as a family coming from a family of Ashkenazi Jews from Poland. You understand the history of this. How long have you been studying, Henry, on this subject, and how much information have you gone through to come to the conclusions that you have?
I've been on this trail for 25 years. I'm 75 years old, and I have, I've been studying this because this is the most important question facing humanity. I read The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich when I was 10 years old, and I couldn't understand why adults who expected me to respect them had made such a mess of things and had caused such tragedies. And my grandparents were killed in the Holocaust. They were shot. They were not in camps. And in any case, this, when you're the son of Holocaust survivors and you're an intelligent boy, you want to figure out what the heck is going on. So all my life I've been trying to figure out what's going on. I finally figured it out. It's in this book, and I feel completed by it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to read a couple of quotes off the back, and this is on the back cover of that book. It says, "Mankind is at a tipping point. The historical mission of our world revolution is to rearrange a new culture of humanity to replace the previous social system. This requires the destruction of the old established order, the elimination of all frontier borders, nationhood, and culture." In other words, the same borderless world. This is the New World Order. Public policy, ethical barriers, and social definitions. All these things have to be eliminated. Only then can they be destroyed. Only then can the destroyed old system elements be replaced by the imposed system elements of our new order. And this was Nahum Goldman, founder of the World Jewish Congress. And it was 1915, the German War, the spirit of militarism. That's the thing, Henry, that I think a lot of us, we think that what's going on right now in the world is something brand new. This has been planned really since Adam Weishaupt and the formation of the Illuminati and their basically their incursion into Freemasonry. This has been going on for 250 years or close to it.
I expect this conspiracy dates back to even before Christ.
Oh yeah,
I don't know for sure, but
yeah.
But yes, the latest expression of it would be from 1776 on.
Would you like to describe exactly how that organization was formed and what it is?
Well, it's a secret society within Freemasonry. It's the highest degrees, probably over 33 degrees and plus. And these are the people who are who are informed about the real agenda. All the other Freemasons aren't told about it. And Judaism is the same. Freemasonry is based on Judaism. Jews don't know what the real agenda is unless they're initiated. So only the initiated Freemasons can be considered Illuminati, and I would superimpose Illuminati on the Chabad. I've come up with a number of essays that suggest Chabad is the head of the Illuminati snake. So only if you're a Freemason, only if you're really corrupt, they'll test you. If you're not corrupt, you won't be informed about the real agenda. You'll be like camouflage. But if you're corrupt, they'll and agree to do corrupt things. You'll be promoted to Illuminati. Now the problem is that the Rothschilds are Illuminati. The Rothschilds are virtually Chabad, even though they don't go around wearing that crow-like uniform. And essentially, we gave the Rothschilds and their syndicate our national credit cards. That's like giving your worst enemy your credit card. Mm-hmm. And what is your worst enemy going to do with your credit card? He's going to max it out. And how's he going to max it out? By starting a whole bunch of wars, and by putting his proxies in power by promising all kinds of social programs, and basically so maxing out the national credit cards. So we've gotten to the point where the United States, is 36 trillion in debt and can't finance itself, and that's the agenda. That you don't give your credit card to your worst enemy.
Well, and since the last century, and I am a little bit familiar with the whole concept of Zionism, and that really didn't start in any meaningful way until the late 19th century, and the Zionist movement had gained a great deal of power in the United States through Woodrow Wilson, Edward Mandell House, and people like Felix Frankfurter, and so many of the big bankers in New York were part of that group that were promoting what became known as Zionism.
Dan, another element of my argument, which I think is very important, which no one seems to want to recognize, is that it's not just the Zionists. It's organized Jewry is basically divided into two Masonic wings: the Zionists on the right and the Communists on the left. But essentially, the Rothschilds control both. What's happening with Elon Musk is kind of interesting because he seems to be rebelling against Trump. Trump is a total imposter. He's a total imposter. In any case, Musk seems to be in revolt against him, and I think that could be a very interesting development. Musk is threatening to start a third political party. Mm-hmm. I mean, Trump has to go. I mean, he's a mass murderer. He's responsible for what Netanyahu's doing. The two of them are both Chabad. They're both deeply involved in Satanism, and they're both blackmailed to the hilt.
We need to start relying on ourselves to be the people who we are looking for. If we don't get involved, if we don't act, if we don't learn, if we don't research, if we don't get involved, we have nothing to complain about when we end up on the chopping block.
The general causes of anti-Semitism have always resided in Israel itself and not in those who antagonized it. And this is a Jew, Bernard Lazar, talking anti-Semitism, its history and causes. We just have to accept the fact, and Jews have to accept the fact, that Judaism is really about replacing God with Jews. It's about the worship of Jews, and not just Jews, Cabalist Jews, the Jewish leadership. Ordinary Jews really don't give a shit. They just want to live their life like everybody else. Mm-hmm. But they've been duped, like Americans now, and everybody else is being duped into fighting wars which are really designed to kill them. I mean, I have numerous articles in my books about how Freemasons on both sides of Freemasons in World War I, they killed something like 1 million British patriots in the Battle of the Somme. There's an article of that in my book. I mean, these are Freemasons who just sent out fathers, sons, brothers to just get mowed down in the Battle of the Somme, the most bloody battle in history. This is all about killing Christians. Why don't they wake up? Mm-hmm. Can't they see that these wars they're basically charades, they're hoaxes. And this Third World War is a hoax too. The Iranian leaders are Freemasons. Netanyahu and Trump are Freemasons. Putin is a Freemason. The Ukraine war is all about killing the Goyim. And Menachem Schneerson, the Chabad leader, says so. He said so. I have a quote in my book where he says that we'll just start a war between the Ukrainians and the Russians, who will kill a lot of these Russians, these Slavs. I have the quote. Why can't people connect the dots and realize that humanity is satanically possessed by organized Jewry? Not by Jews, but by the Rothschilds, the people we gave our credit card to. I've got an article, I think, in Illuminati 2 that shows how the British were actually, the Illuminati were actually, in England, were actually supplying the Germans in order to prolong the war.
Yeah, well,
that's my whole point. The people on both sides of every war are the same people. They're Freemasons, they're Satanists, and the real enemy are the patriots who fight the war. They want to kill them. They want to kill patriots because they want a one-world government with no democracy, no freedom, and no national independence.
Henry, I'm going to make this statement. I've done a number of these programs where we took recordings from Israelis, from people that were part of the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, that were just good, normal people, and they said this whole thing is a scam. It couldn't be the way they said it is. And we're killing an awful lot of people that don't deserve to be dying as a result of all this crazy crap that's going on. There's a reason that something like 75% of the Israeli people had a vote of no confidence against Netanyahu before the October event in 2023 that created the whole Gaza thing.
Your readers or your listeners are aware that this whole Gaza, this Hamas attack, October 7th, 2023, was done with Mossad complicity. Everyone's aware of this. The Mossad has been funding Hamas. Netanyahu is on the record of saying we have to fund Hamas because we don't want a two-nation solution, a two-state solution. And it's quite obvious that maybe more than half the Israelis killed on that date were killed by Israeli gun ships, because that's what Jews do. They overdo it, they overdo it. By killing their own people, they sort of gave it away, didn't they? That they were basically trying to improve their case to ethnically cleanse Gaza, just like the Jewish Holocaust. It was organized by the Zionists in order to make a case. They sacrificed their fellow Jews in order to make a case for the establishment of the state of Israel. And I can't believe Israelis have fallen for this. But what's important is on the first anniversary of the Hamas-Mossad attack, that's October 7th, 2024, Donald Trump and Harold Ludwig and Ben Shapiro visited the grave of Menachem Schneerson in Brooklyn. And that's basically telling you we worship this guy. And this guy, Trump said this guy is the greatest. He's a racist. He's a psychopath. And it's online of him telling Netanyahu to hurry up and destroy the world because that's the only thing that will bring back the Jewish Messiah. Just connect the dots. This is their agenda.